Alicia Wells with Recover Michiana Fest. Joining me now, Alicia, we are coming off the heels of two pieces that you really helped me with this week involving fentanyl. So one, I appreciate your help with those, but two, appreciate you coming on here because I felt like it was so fitting.
Thank you so much, for tackling this story and tackling this topic. It's not an easy topic. And when you go all in, you go all in. So we're really excited to see what can come from this and hopefully just to be able to educate our community.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. We've gotten a little bit of Facebook feedback already saying that we're trying to scare people and all these other things. And I get that everybody has their own opinion, and that is not my goal. I know that's not your goal, but when it comes to fentanyl, we are talking about a matter of life and death. So if me putting this information out there sparks a conversation, that's the goal of this. And so at least we're talking about it.
Yeah, the Facebook comments are very easy to say that we're scaring people, but the fact is we are scared.
Yeah.
We're seeing it. We're on the front lines of it. We're attending the funerals. We're getting the calls. And so it would be negligent of us not to inform the community about what's here. It's not like we're telling something that's in New York or LA. We're talking about what's happening right here to our children, our teenagers, our community in Michiana.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that you said that. And this, we kind of started off on a different note, but I just saw one of the comments. So I figured let's just tackle it. Let's just go all in on that. Because yeah, I mean, and that's why I wanted to break down numbers on Monday, you know, and I'm very conscious of buzzwords, right? We've all been affected by it. Ooh, what's in the headlines today or tomorrow? And obviously fentanyl is in the headlines today and it will be tomorrow. But that's why we wanted to bring you numbers to show you that numbers are on the rise. Almost 1,000 more overdose deaths in the state of Indiana. Like that is concerning in a year. And obviously talking about it county to county. So I just appreciate you tag teaming this with me and educating me because as hopefully a future parent, like these are things that we need to talk about because we are all stuck in what we used to know when we were younger and things just constantly change.
And things are changing. That is the thing that we talk about the most, especially when it comes to our youth. I'm actually part of a Get Schooled tour through Remedy Live in Fort Wayne, and we're going into high schools and we're doing live polling, right, with high school students, freshmen, sophomore, junior, senior, and they're giving us the feedback on what they know about drugs and do they trust what adults tell them about drugs. And they're saying they don't trust adults because adults used to say, don't do drugs, it'll fry your brain. Well, then they try drugs one time and it didn't fry their brain. So they think it must be safe.
Right.
The drugs that we experienced, if you were, 10, 20, 30 years ago, experimenting are not the drugs that are here today.
Yeah.
And it's our responsibility to educate our community about what our kids are seeing and dealing with in school. One of the topics that we're seeing over and over again is young women who are trafficking these drugs for boys or men because they're good looking and they don't think they'll get pulled over. And we had a case of a young lady who was 18 years old. She's in federal prison right now.
Wow.
And she's probably not going to see the light of day until she's 45.
Wow.
And this is you never think it's going to happen to you. So I want to preface that. Like, I never thought I would be part of this conversation or that drug abuse would be happening to me. My parents didn't think so. And so to the parents that are watching this, that are like, not my kid, it's not happening, or it could never possibly, they're involved in this. It takes one time. And I think that's the part of this conversation that we're really trying to push is that one pill can kill.
And that's what I was talking to Trisha about on the morning show too, is we're not talking about individuals dealing with substance abuse disorder necessarily.
No.
Yes, they probably come in contact with fentanyl more than someone who's just trying it, but these aren't people who are just addicted. These are individuals who are in college studying for an exam and say, hey, yeah, why don't you try this Adderall? Okay, this is this individual going to school and all of a sudden their prescription pills are, and it's like, hey, come on, we're all doing it. Why don't you take that Vicodin for the first time, like that Xanax for the first time? Or, hey, come on over. We're all gonna, smoke a joint. Like it could be your first time. And what we're just trying to get across is understanding that this drug is seen in all these things that your kids may be trying for the first time, and that
Yes.
could be their last time. So it really is, it's life or death. And so if we're kind of making it seem like it's scaring you, it should, frankly,
To the
fentanyl
to
should
the
scare you.
yeah, to the people who are saying, why are you trying to scare me? My thought is, I'm scared right along with you.
Totally.
And I don't want anything to happen to our children,
Yep.
because we are not talking about addicts. I'm going to be
Right.
very clear. We are not
Right.
talking, even though the people who are struggling with substance abuse disorder are far greater risk for overdose, far greater exposure to fentanyl. We could go down that rabbit hole for sure.
Right.
We're talking about the accidental, in some cases, poisoning
Right.
of individuals, accidental overdose of fentanyl that is placed into things that people don't even know, right? It's like going back to the bar when they say protect your drink. People were putting
Right.
things in your drink that you didn't think were in there. It's the same concept,
Right.
right? And so to those who are feeling afraid or thinking that this is a scare tactic, or we're using buzzwords on certain days, we're simply saying it's education and it's knowledge. And with us giving you this knowledge, you have power, and you have
Yes.
power to help your community in which you are a part of, your church, your children, your school district. Just by being aware and understanding that Narcan can reduce the overdose of fatality potential of overdose, and to have that with you,
Yes.
and how to get that.
Yes. And I think it goes back to what we keep trying to do, is breaking that stigma of that it's that uphill battle. And I find it everywhere I go, and I'm like, let's break this, because this is not what you're envisioning. And I can just feel people thinking that's not going to happen to me. They're envisioning that individual who's using all the time, who's addicted, who has substance abuse disorder. Like, they're thinking of that person. And while you're thinking of that person, I'm thinking the exact opposite. I'm thinking of the kid trying marijuana for the first time, the kid who's just trying to make it through college or whatever exam or whatever they're doing in life. Because we focus on heroin quite a bit, and of course we talk about cocaine and methamphetamine, but what maybe isn't covered as much as it should is those prescription pills. And what I've learned through this whole process is it's not like every time someone's trying to get you. What I learned is, sometimes it's, hey, my friend that I trust gave me this, and they got it from a friend that they trusted, who then got a friend who they trusted. And then somewhere down the line, something got mixed up and now it's in your hand. So it's not always, meaningful, if that makes sense. So it's just awareness that's so important.
And I think it's so important to the number 12 that we teach our kids. By the time you ingest the substance, hypothetically and theoretically, it's been in the hands of 12 different individuals. Can you trust all 12 of those people, especially when you think of cartels and the pressed pills and this, and this, and where's it been? It's not made in your friend's basement. Like, it's not, and pills are such a safe form. It's a great way for people to think they're being safe because they feel like it was prescribed by a prescriber. And when in fact, these are not even actual real pills. We have a lot of local organizations that do fantastic jobs of getting our prescription pills off the streets. The 525 Foundation does an incredible job with the DEA take back. Their numbers are, they just do phenomenal work. And when we see that they're getting the real pills off the street, we're trying to bring awareness for the fake pills, the press pills, where people are putting this fentanyl into those pills, right? And they're ordered off of Amazon. They look the same. Everything looks the same, but it's completely different. And Russian roulette, unfortunately, is what we play. It may not get you one time, but it could get you the next. And it's just very scary.
Great visual. And I was actually on the phone with the DEA through this process, and they said to me, I've been doing this for years and I have a hard time identifying a counterfeit pill versus a real pill. And so it's, again, circling back, it's not trying to scare you. It's trying to educate you. It's trying to save you or your loved one from having to go down this, because once you go down that road, you can't bring someone back. Like, they're gone, and you're now at a funeral and you're mourning this loss. Like, I had someone I work with say, thank you so much for doing this story, because it's been over 15 years and we're still destroyed by this. And so it's just trying to prevent another death in our area. So
absolutely. We're just in really trying times, right? We're getting hit from all different angles, from the pandemic to the drug epidemic. We're seeing isolation and then being put back, and people are getting back out in groups, and there's still a lot of fear. But with the fentanyl situation that we are dealing with right here in Michiana, we are seeing an uptake in individuals who have never even had a drug problem. It's with experimentation, it's with trying something to cope, it's with dealing with a mental health disorder that is untreated because they feel like they can't get the help that they need. And so people are resorting to different techniques. And unfortunately, all the techniques aren't safe. And that's why we're really seeing a rise in overdose fatality deaths. And it's really sad.
All right, I want to circle back to Recover
Okay.
Michiana Fest. The reason I originally brought you on here, so I appreciate you going down that road with me, because I think once you start getting educated on it, it's hard to kind of turn
I
away
don't
from
want to, I think this is great. And I apologize, my dog is going crazy
it.
right
That's
now.
okay. That's
Okay,
okay.
good.
That's what I love about this, is it's so casual that, like, at one time I had someone's phone ring and now we got a dog. I love it. So Recover Michiana Fest, for those that don't know, what is it?
So Recover Michiana Fest was founded in 2019 when we wanted to showcase the community what recovery actually looks like, and that people do recover. And although we talk about the one side of it and the fearfulness, that people do actually come out. And so it's really exciting that we are focused on our third year, happening at Howard Park on September 25th, and we are launching our community meetings, which is super great.
And tell me a little bit about that.
So our community planning meetings are where we welcome in everyone from the community, because Recover Michiana is not a one-person show. This is not about one person in particular. This is about our community. And it's our community's festival to showcase 5 different components of the recovery world. And so resources and education, we focus on our family time, we focus on shattering that stigma, we focus on celebration of those who are living in recovery from one day just finding their way, maybe even to 40 years of sobriety or more. And then we also do have a place where families can come that have lost a loved one to overdose, where they can safely advocate and learn and be supported. So it's a wonderful day. This year's lineup is incredible. And so we pull our community in to help orchestrate, plan, and execute the event. We are one of the largest, if not the largest, recovery event in the state. We are part of the Indiana Recovery Network. We are super excited for what we're able to bring to Michiana, and we bring people from all over to South Bend to showcase that we are a recovery welcoming city.
I love it because I got to meet, you guys had a gala not too long ago, and we got to talk to a lot of people who are recovering.
Mhm.
And it was really great because, like you said, you always see like the really sad and tough side of things, and not like that walking in recovery is not still tough, but it's nice to see them grabbing their life back and excelling, and talk about bravery. And I know we talked a lot about this, is you have gotten to the point where you have fought your way back and now you're walking in recovery. And to me, that is like so strong and so brave. And they just said it was nice to be around people who get it, who understand, to feel like you have people around you and you have the support system. And like you said, all those resources. So it's just really an amazing feel of community, and that you're not alone, because you're not.
Right. And so many more people struggle with this than really come out and talk about. And we've really just started focusing on talking about this
Yeah.
and, in the last few years. And so the stigma that surrounds that, right? And so when people were standing up in the room to show the people who were getting their life back that they're not alone, that was incredible, because it was over 60% of the room that stood up that night that was showing some sort of recovery. And again, recovery is super individualized. And so what one person does may not work for another, but yet we're all there in solidarity to encourage each other to keep going and keep fighting the battle. It was incredible that night that we had some people reach out after and say, you know what, I think I might actually have a problem. And then they began walking in recovery shortly after, and are still walking in recovery. So the 3 people that we focused on that evening are all graduated treatment and are well on their way. There's going to be struggles, but we as a community, we believe in that chance, we believe in that support. And that's what Recover Michiana is about, is providing a place, just a place where people can come and celebrate and walk through where they're at right when they're in it, right? And if you have lost a loved one, it's celebrating that person for who they were, not what they died of.
Yes. Yes. And you guys have a scholarship that you guys are giving out. And I thought this was very cool and very special. Tell me a little bit about that.
So the Zweda Scholarship was founded by Beth Zweda and Jillian Zweda and the whole entire Zweda family in honor of their loved one, Brian Zweda, who passed away from an accidental but drug overdose several years ago. And so this was founded because Jillian is at Purdue University trying to do a different path, going a different way. And we saw this need for children who've lost parents to overdose. And so Recover Michiana is a platform in which the scholarship is donated through. We did give away our first scholarship that evening to Olivia Axum, a senior at Penn High School, who's going on to Indiana University. So we hope to do more scholarships. We are hoping to raise money to do that and to be able to give more than just one and to hopefully give more as we go. But as a first time thing, we're feeling it out and we're super excited for where we're headed with that. And so our website provides a place for people to apply if they have lost a parent to overdose and are interested in that scholarship.
And these are just high school seniors who have lost a loved one to overdose, correct?
Absolutely. It is open to high school seniors that are going to either college or trade school and that have lost a parent to overdose. Mm-hmm.
So with this fest coming up, what do you need? Because sometimes I get people saying, oh my gosh, I'm moved by this. I want to help our community in some way. What do you need? Maybe how can they help you?
So May 26th at 6 o'clock at Howard Park, we are going to meet down by the river where our festival is held, and we are going to begin the planning process. So come out, join a committee. There's several different committees to be a part of, set up, tear down, being there. We have people that hug and clap for those who are in recovery. We have people that hug and stand by for those that have lost someone. We have peer support, which is huge. Again, the peer recovery coaches at Oak Lawn are phenomenal. We love to support them. We love to have them there and showcase their abilities to be able to get people help on site. So there's so many things to do throughout the day. And so we're looking for our community's help to be a part of it. And if your time isn't something that you can give because you're really busy, we understand that. We are taking donations as well on our website. All the money goes towards the festival into the scholarship and be able to provide these opportunities for our community.
You are such a resource because I feel like you just know so much about everything. Honestly, you're like my go-to and I love that. For people who are maybe coming to a realization that either they or someone they know maybe needs some help, maybe they're struggling, what advice would you give for them to start that conversation?
Honesty. I mean, and understanding that a person who's walking through substance abuse disorder is not going to necessarily come clean and say, thank you, this is my saving grace. I've been waiting to tell you that. Denial, denial, denial. But I encourage the family to get involved with PALS, parents of addicted loved ones. There's meetings in Elkhart, or there's also, and also Marshall County. And there's mom of an addict who does virtual meetings, or Al-Anon even. So there's different support groups for families to get together and get that support and then reach out. Our team is standing by. We are always there to be able to help navigate an intervention. We don't charge for interventions. We come out, we meet with them. We have males, we have females on our team, and we're ready to just kind of help that person transition into treatment and kind of help them realize what that looks like and walk the family through it as well. So it is a process, but it can begin with just one phone call, and they're always welcome to call me, and we will, I'm sure you'll provide that information. They can reach out on social media at the Recover Michiana Fest at Facebook. We would love to be able to help initiate that conversation. And remember, it's never too late. Yeah. I have some parents that call me, they're like, my son's been using drugs for many, many years. I don't think he's ever going to get clean. The fact is, a lot of times people do want to get clean, but they're so scared of withdrawal, and they're also scared of the resource mapping. Where do I go? What do I do? Yes. And so luckily, Recover Michiana, Allendale Treatment, and Fort Wayne Recovery, we work with many different treatment centers. We go, we tour them, we vet them out. And if it's somewhere that I would go, I'm willing, we're willing to send you there, pending what all that looks like. And so it's a dangerous world, but it's a world that can be navigated with proper support. And that's exactly what our team is looking to do.
And that's why I love kind of putting your number out there too, because my biggest fear is that someone's willing to take that step and then they get pulled on hold or they get transferred or they don't get a call back. With you, you're not going to do that. So you have a lot of sleepless nights. So I appreciate
Yep.
you because you don't do that. Because as you know, that time period that someone decides that they're willing to get some help can be very small and can change instantly. You can't wait for a week to get a call back on this.
Well, no, or a week to get a bed. And we recognize that the beds are limited. We do have a lot of different resources coming to St. Joseph County soon. But we understand what that time frame looks like. I mean, because I can tell you personally, I've wanted help, right? And I've called and they're going to call me back. By the time they call me back, I've done told myself I'm not an addict again and I'm good and I'll do it next Tuesday. Everybody wants to go to treatment next Tuesday. It's like I don't know what it is about Tuesday, Christine, but everybody always says, oh yeah, I'll go next Tuesday. What? I don't get it.
No,
But
no.
we're here to help get them in today. We're here to help navigate that process. And to the family members who call and the patient, the person of concern, their loved one doesn't go right away, we still encourage them, we follow up, we believe in that. And so we do know that it's also a process as well, and the person has to be ready. But I caution the family to dictate if they think they're ready or if they shouldn't give them the option because they don't believe they're ready. Let us, the professionals that do this every day, work with your loved one to help them get ready. And also, don't be afraid to use the Oak Lawn Peer Recovery Coaches as well. It's a phenomenal resource right here in our community. They are some of the best individuals I've ever met, ran by the greatest team. So our community is connected, right? We are not siloed. And from our partnership all the way down, we are working to make change with education and prevention, because knowledge is power, to have this festival to celebrate what our community is about. And then to have these separate events that raise awareness and draw attention to the subject matter in different ways. And one of those that I'm excited about, Christine, is Battle of the Badges. That one is coming up June 14th.
Yeah,
And
tell me a little bit about that.
so Battle of the Badges is, oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite things that we do. This year, excuse me, Sheriff Redmond is going up against the fire chief for Tim Shaywell at Clay Fire. So we saw police versus fire, and they're going up against each other on Tuesday night, June 14th at Howard Park Public House. They are a huge sponsor of our event. We couldn't thank Mark Tarman enough for his sponsorship of this evening, and they battle it out. I mean, last year it was intense, and I'm telling you, like people don't like to lose. One of the things that I get people say is, why do you do this? Right? Why do you have a battle of badges, a burger battle? Here's the thing: compassion fatigue. Our first responders suffer with compassion fatigue, and they also struggle, and their family members also struggle. But it's also an environment where you necessarily don't want to come out and talk about it. And so by uniting everybody together, it's a great opportunity to talk about them, to educate them and to let them know that they're not alone and that there's services for them. But it's also a way to show them that when they're going out on calls for the same person day after day after day, and they're Narcaning the same person, and they're like, dude, just die already. You know, I know it's a horrible thought process, but like some people are like, what are we doing here?
Or just stop already. Yeah,
exactly. We deal with that like kind of back and forth, and then we get to show them that we do recover and that they do save lives. And every time they show up matters. Every time they show up lays a brick to somebody's recovery, even though they don't see it. And they get to see that with people who are actually walking in recovery, thanking them for all that they do, because I couldn't imagine doing that. I honestly couldn't. So it's a great night that we raise money for the festival, and it's a great night where people come together and we can really showcase our first responders in a friendly competition. Bill, if you're listening, a friendly competition. He's pretty competitive, but and then whoever wins gets to throw out the first pitch at our recovery night at the ballpark.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Oh, no, I love that, because you're right. I can't even imagine that moment where someone who's recovering goes up to an officer or firefighter and like thanks them. That's insane. That emotional moment, I can't even understand, honestly. Like that has to be the most rewarding thing probably that you'll ever get.
It is incredible. I remember the officer that drove me to jail.
Wow.
And I was almost, no, this is one time of many, mind you, there's still a lot of PTSD with that, but there was one officer who was like, what are you doing? You're too good for this. Like, you've got to
Mm,
get your head on straight, girl. Like, or
yeah.
you're going to die. Like, I remember those conversations. And although I didn't get clean right then and there, I do remember when he says, you can do
Yeah.
this. And I
Yeah.
thought to myself, he doesn't know me. He doesn't know anything about me. But yet he knew so much more. He knew to just pour into me in that 10-minute ride to jail that felt like
Right.
forever and didn't feel
Right.
like long enough. He poured into me. And so we want to pour into
Mm,
our first responders.
wow. And yeah, Narcan just so important. Like, the best thing I learned through this too, or the best thing I heard was you can't make it to recovery if you're not alive.
Yeah, John Horsley, he put it, he's like, we can't treat you if you're dead,
Yeah. True.
and that stuck with me because we can't help you
No.
if you've passed away, but
Right.
if you've been revived, we have a chance.
Right.
And for those that say, well, I don't understand why Narcan is free, and they want to put it up against another medication, my thought process is, we are not here to debate what disease is worse than the other. We are here with the tools that we're given to save lives, and it's our job to get that out into the community, while we advocate for other medications and other diseases to be treated as fairly. But I want to be careful and cautious not to pit one disease that someone's suffering with another disease. And again, if for those who are saying addiction is a choice,
Mm.
I say to you, medical professionals have declared that a disease. It is a diagnosis code. And I can't argue with that. And I know that we're just out here trying to do what we can do.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, on the pieces I did prior, I learned that real quick. I learned that the way that I could explain it, what I took from that was addiction is almost like you watching yourself from above, and you're sitting here saying, I want to get out, I want to stop, but I can't. And it's just this, like, you're watching this battle, like what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing, but you can't. And you're fighting this kind of feeling. And so that's when I learned immediately of, it's so simple just to say it's a choice, but it's not. It's not that simple. It's not.
It's not. And I look back into my life, and I made a lot of bad choices that I had to have consequences for. But those choices were in result to me chasing a disease that I didn't understand, that I didn't even have the knowledge nor the power or the education to know what to do. And things were a lot different then. And so for those that say, I I've had it easy. I get the same Facebook comments, right? That I've
Mm,
had it easy. My story is I'm a 14-time felon. I've served time at every Indiana women's prison there is. I struggled for 10 years, even leaving a newborn son that I wanted more than anything behind, because I made choices, right? Choices in my addiction to keep going because I was so sick.
yeah.
But after time and after getting well and getting treatment and still working a program, that's not perfect by any means. I'm not perfect by any means. But by making choices today to not take those pills, to not take those opioids, to not numb my pain, I'm able to make choices that keep me here with my son.
Mm,
And so, although I'm not cured, I never will be.
right.
I know that I can do this. And I also know that I have a community that I can pick up the phone and call day or night that
Yes.
will be there for me. And
Yes.
we want others to know that we're there for them too.
Gosh, it's funny. Years ago, my husband said this. He's like, let's make kindness cool again. Like, let's
Ooh,
just do it, because it's so true. It's like, if we all could just have just a little bit more care and compassion and give each other just a little bit more grace,
mhm.
then maybe we can do amazing things. And I
I
think that,
love that. Your husband's a very smart man.
yeah, it's just that stayed with me, and I think we've tried to do that since. And because there's just a lot of, it's so easy with social media to be so nasty. And it's just, what if we just were kind a little bit? What if? Let's
I
try it.
love the what if, because what if we just made the phone call today?
Yes,
What if for the person
true.
who's seeing this that's not sure if they're struggling, or they know they're struggling, but they're not sure what recovery looks like, and
Yeah.
they know it's hard. What if you made that
Yeah.
call today?
It's cheesy. You don't know, but until you try. Like we've heard that saying all the time. What's the
I
worst that
love
could
it.
happen?
Right? Well, the worst that can happen with fentanyl, friend, is death, and
Well,
that's what we're
true.
trying to prevent. So,
But I mean, what's the worst that can happen if you try to get into treatment or you try to
oh,
stop?
right, yes, no,
That's what I mean.
wasn't.
Not that. What's the worst that can happen if you make a call to
Oh,
treatment? For sure. Yeah.
great.
Yeah. With Recover Michiana Fest or anything else, what am I missing? What should we talk about? Or just
There
more
are
here?
sponsorship opportunities to be a part of this incredible day. And so log on to recovermichianafest.org. There's a sponsorship tab. There's ways to be a part of this. Also, if you want to celebrate one of your loved ones who's actually in recovery, we have an LED video wall where we do a whole video montage, if you will, of people who are walking in recovery. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us at Recover Michiana Fest in the contact button. If you're interested in being a resource at the festival or a vendor at the artisan market, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you. Another thing is it's a family-free day, lots of children's activities that day. And also if you've lost someone to an overdose, we also have a montage as well to celebrate those lives and to give you that support. So many wonderful things that are going to take place. We couldn't do it without the community, so we're just asking for your support and your involvement, right? Like, we're so excited for that part of it.
Love it. Alicia, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all your time and of course, spending time here with me right now.
Well, I appreciate you. Congratulations on your award for the last story. I believe we had 17 phone calls of people that were seeking treatment in November. Some of them actually made it all the way through, which is super exciting. And so I look forward to see who we can help and what we can do and how we can educate with this story. And kudos to you.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, it's all about saving a life and helping people, and I'll continue to do my part with you. So I appreciate it.
Awesome. So September 26th, 6 o'clock at Howard Park is our first community meeting, and we will be out there, rain or shine. Hopefully not raining, but you know. Last year it was the sprinklers, like the sprinklers went off in the middle of it. It was fantastic.
Oh gosh.
But we'll be there looking to have people involved.